I've bubble sorted every surviving Doctor Who story from 1963 to 2014. With each comparison, I asked myself, which episode is better? These are my bottom 10 episodes of Doctor Who. Number 10, Dragonfire. Writer Ian Briggs introduces the 7th Doctor and us to the new companion, Ace, brings back the risible Sabalom Glitz, and the worst cliffhanger in the history of Doctor Who, but it's not all bad. Mel leaves, but there isn't any satisfactory explanation of her motivation. Number 9, The Twin Dilemma. Regeneration stories are often problematic, but they're also important to setting the tone for a new Doctor. Writer Anthony Stephen tries to make the 6th Doctor as unlikable as possible, and surrounds him by a bad story about snails invading a planet. Number 8, Ghostlight. Some people think Mark Platt's 7th Doctor story is a classic. However, this story is illogical and full of so many plot holes and random ideas that you could add anything to the story and it would make just as much sense. Number 7, Survival. Survival is the final episode of classic Doctor Who. Writer Rona Munro's characters spend a fair amount of time discussing what is needed to compete in a world shaped by survival of the fittest. Episodes like this didn't help with Doctor Who's survival. Number 6, The Curse of Fridrich. Here's another story that often gets listed as a classic, but I don't agree. Ian Briggs gets his second story in the bottom 10, the manipulative Dark Doctor that has been using Ace and everyone around him is unlikable at best, and the story has too many plot elements including Viking curses, vampires, wartime drama, Soviet infiltrators, a lost priest, and power-mad conspirators. Number 5, Delta and the Bannerman. Bees? Really? But if that's not bad enough, this 7th Doctor story by Malcolm Cole has a British holiday camp, bad American accents, the Bannerman, Mel, possibly at her worst, and honey. Lots and lots of honey. Surely that old beekeeper was supposed to be another retired Time Lord. Number 4, The Happiness Patrol. Graham Curry's Happiness Patrol joins the bottom 10 with a badly dated satire of Thatcher's Britain. If the ridiculous plot of a world where the evil ruler of the planet will kill you if you aren't happy doesn't automatically earn this a place near the bottom, then the Candyman should. Number 3, Paradise Towers. Stephen Wyatt brings us this solidly awful 7th Doctor story. With all of space and time at her disposal, Mel wants to go to a block of flats and swim in the pool and gets kidnapped, nearly killed, or almost eaten by cannibal grannies in the process. This episode proves that Mel was a companion that wasn't smart enough to survive. Number 2, The Greatest Show in the Galaxy. It's the second in a row for writer Stephen Wyatt. His only 2 Doctor Who stories make it to the bottom 3. Sylvester McCoy really knows how to pronounce the word Ragnarok with style, but that, and the explosion at the end, is about all this episode has going for it, which is actually an accident rather than design. The British-style clowns are incredibly creepy. Number 1, Time in the Ronnie. Pip and Jane Baker fought off fierce competition to achieve this, the worst episode of Doctor Who ever. It takes a lot to make a story the worst, and this one has it in spades. Mel is at her most annoying, Kate O'Mara as the Ronnie turns in a worse performance than in Mark of the Ronnie, and her disguise as Mel is terrible. The writers admitted they didn't have a clue how the 7th Doctor was to be played, and arguably, McCoy didn't either. His manic clowning around is painful to watch. And then there's the plot. In a universe of all in time and space, with countless planets and civilizations, some with intellects that can even rival the Time Lords themselves, the Ronnie's planet kidnapped Earth geniuses like Albert Einstein and Louis Pasteur to power her infernal machine, and then to disguise herself as Mel to trick the Doctor into helping her. Colin Baker may seem to have gotten a bad deal by being fired from Doctor Who, but he was better off leaving Doctor Who before they made this episode and the ones that followed it. So that's my worst episodes of Doctor Who. Come back next time when I start my countdown of the best episodes of Doctor Who. Tell us your least favorite episodes of Doctor Who in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.